Hey everybody, it's Grady with Ross Outdoors, and today, November 12th, is launch day for Mathews. So all new 2026 models are here, and we're super excited to share the new bows as well as some of the new accessories and features that they have. So on my right here, we have the all-new ARC 34, and on my left, we have the new ARC 30. So very feature-rich bows, as well as some great user feedback that they really integrated into these bows. I'm going to reference the 34 here. So it's a 34-inch axle to axle. You're going to get draw lengths all the way out to a 32 and down to a 26.5 in half-inch increments. And then on your ARC 30, your draw lengths are going to range from 25 all the way out to 30.5. So you get an extra half-inch on the shorter axle to axle. Staying in the mid to high 340s, I believe this one is at the 348 speed range, being the ARC 30, and then I believe this one is a 343 for the ARC 34. Riser looks are a little bit different. I'm going to turn this and hopefully it stays in frame well enough. I'll turn both of them so that we're even while I mess things up. Notice that there's a little bit more beef up here in the riser. So they maintained the SCS system up here on top. It's got two little grooves. It's a little bit more of a inline in the riser change, so you don't have to worry about anything up in your limb pocket. They did change the limb pocket, but I'll get to that in a second. Beefing up this material here on the top and the bottom really helped reduce any ambient vibration that may have been left from the Lift or Lift X series. There wasn't much, but somehow they managed to kill it. Going down into the riser, it does narrow back up to that traditional kind of narrow bridge lock design. Everything on these bows is bridge lock compatible as well as new bridge lock compatible, but as we work our way down, we'll go over that. So bridge lock compatible with your sights, so any of your HHAs, Black Golds, True Ball Excel, Proof, Ultraview, any of them will work. A little bit of new bridge work here in the front to help nix some of that weight. I should mention you're sub 4 pounds with the ARC 30, and then you're at, I believe, 4.3 pounds with your ARC 34, so very lightweight. But because of that beefed up riser on the top and bottom, you're not getting the vibration sacrifice that normally comes with a little bit lighter weight bow. Still have the bond grip compatibility, so we've got some of the bond grips that came in the Mathews accessory package that they were so gracious to send us today, so that we could outfit these bows appropriately for you. As you can see, they don't have anything on them because it's been busy. People have been shooting bows. We haven't got a chance to bolt everything on yet. Still will get the sight mount little screw with the brass detent so that's soft on the sight bar that goes into the bridge lock. You do get a dovetail integration for any of your rests. It could be the Q80 MX2 Mathews edition. It could be the new Hamskea R7, which we have in stock, by the way, on the website, rossoutdoors.com. Shameless plug. Odd enough, makes me kind of interested. They did some really nice fluting on the back of the riser here. I thought that looked cool. Nice way to change stuff. On the stabilizers, with the stabilizers, you do have the standard wing nut here that allows it to mount, but the stabilizer we have in here right now is the all-new angled stabilizer from Mathews. So you'll notice here that there is a cutout right there. So that cutout is going to go down on your riser, and you're going to be able to set your stabilizer in and tilt it down, and that's going to give you, I'm not going to tighten the wing nut, but you get the point. That gives you a 7-degree downset with a bridge lock bar. So not only do you get the bridge lock compatibility to where everything stays as centered on that riser as possible, but they also listened to user feedback and they beefed up all the material right here. So on your bridge lock stabilizer mount, the material being beefed up there, it does take away some of that ambient kind of harmonics that you would get on feedback from the stabilizer. You do have the micro stabilizer harmonic dampener up here at the front but you would still get a little bit of feedback. You're going to get feedback with every single stabilizer in the world, but with them beefing up the material here, they did a really, really nice job of killing it, because stabilizer and sight vibration are the #1 thing that's going to get to your hand once you mount accessories on, because they're the closest in proximity. Going down, there is the new Integrate V-bar mount. So the Integrate V-bar mount is going to go in to the side of your riser, and then it will lock in to where now you're not dealing with the larger, heavier standard bridge lock V-bar mount. It's just going to integrate right into the side and then use a rest bolt, or you could put the wing nut in through the rear, and that's what's going to lock the system in. Same user adjustability, very, very friendly, to where you're going to be able to run front and rear bridge lock bars. I'm going to make mention of it. This is the new Kodiak brown color. Extremely, extremely good looking bow. It is still a textured riser finish. It's not a hydro dip. It's a powder coat of some sort, but very, very pretty. Even with the lights of us shooting, and I shouldn't have looked into that light. There's no sheen to it. That's always the biggest worry when new colors come out, is there going to be kind of a shine, a sheen? For us on the hunting side of the house, it is a little bit worrisome that if you're up in a tree or in a ground blind and anything shines on you, that could cause a glint, and an animal would notice that. So really, really happy that there's not a sheen to it. Did redo the limb pockets this year, so the limb pockets are much more minimalist. That entails less weight. You're still getting the normal support at the rocker and up at the front of the cup, but they did cut quite a bit of weight there, and that's what I believe is allowing them to beef up the riser in certain points where they need to reduce vibration, but have a really solid mounting structure for your limbs. Limbs do look to be a little bit beefier and a little bit more parallel on the ARC 30 and 34. So I'm excited about that. I personally like a little bit more of a parallel limb like they have here, to where, although yes, you may not get as much of a tuck on the limb, I like how it aims a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more stiff and more rigid. Tend to get a little less side-to-side pin movement, in my opinion. On the cams, they did integrate a similar weight out here towards the string end, if you will, to where it's going to have much more efficiency on the whip. So although it's going to be a little bit more comfortable, in my opinion, to draw, you didn't lose the performance of the bow. So that's very, very exciting. Also, on the nerdy side, your timing marks are axle to axle. Whoops. Your timing marks are axle to axle specific. So you have a 34 and a 30 dot on your cam. So when you go to twist your cables, you're going to have much better alignment on the 34 or 30, and they're significantly tinier. In years past, that timing hole normally has been, I'd say, the size of a pea. This one, we'll do a childhood flashback. It's about the size of a Red Ryder BB. Please hold. Very, very comfortable, very, very exciting. Now everyone looking at the table says, what's all this here? This is all the different accessory options. The only thing that is really jumping out at me that is missing is the two-piece low pro quivers. We didn't get those in the package just because they come with the low pro detaches in the preview packs, and we wanted to make sure we get them the fastest so everyone could look at the stuff. All the accessories come in the new color. There is a Kodiak fade to black option. Stabilizers, like I have the 8, 10, and 12 here in the new Kodiak color. You'll notice these boxes are marked with a yellow sticker. That's the angled version, so it does have that cut. You can run the angled version as a standard bridge lock bar as well. You still have all of the appropriate cuts here. You're just missing this small section on there, but you still have all the little knurlings to where you can run it as a standard bar, and you're only missing that like 1 inch. New limb legs, the ARC limb legs, they sit up a little bit higher, and it seems like it keeps the bow at a little bit more friendly angle, to where if you are running the downward stabilizer in the, I would say probably the 15-inch varietal, it's not going to touch the ground. Seems like the limb legs themselves are a little bit longer and a little wider foot, so you get a little bit more stable stance. Also sitting here is the SWX-Z modules. So these modules are going to be able to be used in unison on your bow with the standard SWX mods that we already are used to coming from the Lift X. So all these mods are going to be marked with the SWX-Z as well as their laser etched right here. And then you've got your 5-pound increments as well. Like this is a 70E mod. It increases comfort, so it changes your draw force curve a little bit, but it's a very, very minute performance change. Of course, the performance change, I'm not going to lie to you, it changes per draw length. You're going to see different numbers per draw length, per half inch, and per poundage that you change with, but it is a very minimal change, but you're gaining a lot more smooth draw cycle. I feel like Mathews really hit it out of the park this year. You have all new color that I think is a darn good looking color, as well as a fade to black variant. You're still getting all the same integration with more being the new stabilizers options, and you're really going to be able to tune not only poundage, but what draw cycle you feel works best for you. So I think Mathews hit it out of the park this year. We do have them available at both locations. And as the days go on, we're going to get more and more and more in. We have lots of colors showing up. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our phone number is 602-386-1266. And we have them available for demo and, of course, available for purchase. So we really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.